It's all you, James.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the fourth edition of the Intellect Boys podcast. Today we have Dar, Emiliano, Esteban, and Vincent, and myself, James. So, to kick things off, we're going to start with some gaming related stuff because I would say most of us are video game fans. So, recently, or not recent, well, yeah, in April, BBC reported that for the 2024 Olympics that are being held in Paris, there is a possible implementation of esports that will be coming soon. And to me personally, I thought that was a really cool idea because as we've seen, esports have become much more popular. And I think that this is like a great direction for like the esports uh, genre to go towards. What does everyone else think?
I
Bold
do
and
agree.
brash.
I
I
think.
think.
You go.
Oh,
My bad.
all right. I think like you got fans of esports all over the world. You got South Korea, you got Taiwan, U.S., and like
It's just an
a lot of
international
cities,
community.
a lot of cities in Europe too. Like putting that in, putting esports into the Olympics would like create a greater sense of like unity, international unity.
Okay. So, it's being implemented with everything else, right? Like it'd be the
Well,
same
it's
with them.
it's not certain yet, but there is a possible. It could happen.
But
It's
that's
not
what would be
certain though.
happening. Like it'd be implemented with the regular stuff.
Yeah,
I like the idea, but I think it should be a separate thing, like a separate esports thing from an actual sports thing, because obviously everyone that watches or attends the Olympics is there to see like what's been shown like for the past who knows how long, right? I don't think like implementing esports in the same thing is a very good idea. I think some people would rather just go see the sports one, like the regular one, and then like others would prefer to go see the esports one or both. But I think they should like instead of just like I don't know, increasing the cost to go or something because of like adding additional events, even if they don't want to go see the esports one, I think they should like give them an option. Like you can go to the esports one, or you can just go to the regular one, or you can like pay for both.
My question is what games would they even allow into the esports if that's even since it could be a possibility that's actually implemented.
yeah.
Like,
So from the article, they're saying that the ones that would have made it in, it would be mainly MOBAs, which for those of you that don't know, it's just games that revolve around teams of usually five against another team of five, and you basically just have to destroy enemy's fortress in a sense.
Well, how
yeah,
violent can it be though? Like, is there like a limit?
yeah,
Like,
and
can
that was kind of my question. Is like,
yeah,
what genres would they even allow? Because like MOBAs sound fine, but then some MOBAs, like they might include guns, and although it's
Yeah.
cartoonish, I mean families watch the Olympics with like their kids and stuff, so it's kind of like, you know,
And you have like certain
how deep will the rabbit hole go to justify it? Like other first person shooters where there's a bit more of like a realistic feel in terms of the graphical capabilities of the game. It's like how would you put that on just
Yeah, I get what you're
public
saying.
television?
I just
Yeah.
think no blood, right? I feel like even if like a game like Overwatch, I think that's fine because yeah, there's like guns, right? But they're not like it isn't graphic. It's like it's childish, and I think that's fine. Or they could just go by like the ratings of the games. Like Overwatch's rating is teen,
Mhm.
and I don't know, like if any game was rated above teen, then they wouldn't allow it or something.
I mean, like,
Or
yeah,
just
they
be
could do
sure
that,
to.
but then again, like what about a game like Counter Strike, right? Like that requires a lot of mechanical skill and like game sense and knowledge.
Yeah, and it is
It's
like one of the most popular
mm-hmm.
games to be involved in esports too.
And I would assume the reason they would want to implement it, it's because of the esport popularity. So at some point
Um,
or and another, they would have to like if it doesn't sustain itself, it's gonna have to be like, well, how can they make that portion, if it were to be implemented, of the Olympics more interesting?
Do you think that should be in like the blood? Like, because like someone said earlier, like families go and watch this thing.
no, like it shouldn't be, but at the same time, it's like any other person that watches like the Counter Strike tournaments and stuff, like the Cologne tournament. Um, it's like you know what you're watching, so it's like acceptable to watch it. But the Olympics, it's like you're there to kind of
It's a
watch
wider
sports,
audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
and
get
it's
that.
like, yeah, it's an e-sport, but what will cross the line of okay, it can be shown on TV without any like flack.
Yeah, you could probably take out the blood because it won't detract from like the actual gameplay.
Yeah,
Um,
Can they do that?
like in all honesty, they'd probably just like
Pretty sure you
make
can.
like a special version of the game
Yeah.
specifically for
They
the
can-
Olympics.
yeah. They
I
can
think
make a
people would
custom
complain about that though, especially for CS. Like, well, if there wasn't some indicator of you hit them, because people use that like the blood they see as an indicator that okay, I limp for some damage or something. I think people would complain about that, unless like maybe they wouldn't care if it lets them in the Olympics, but I think that'd be a complaint.
I think also another factor to consider is how many people would even travel to see it if it were to be implemented. Because like cities, from what I've read, like cities that end up having the Olympics held in, like, dude, they have to do so much preparation to even like
I
have
don't know.
that kind of like audience for it. And like these gaming events alone, dude, like they get sold out so fast. So it's like not only are you combining an Olympic audience, but you're also trying to combine an online audience that do travel to a lot of these other events. And yeah, like maybe a majority of that audience overlaps, but it's like how do you account for the extra like people that will be there?
I don't necessarily think that's going to be an issue because
Yeah,
this is going to be expensive to attend first off if it actually happens. So that automatically like gets rid of a lot of the people that attend normal events. And I think it just depends on the games that are there, right? Like why video game tournaments are usually so packed, it's because it's one game that you're into. Like if you love Overwatch, you're obviously going to attend the Overwatch thing, but if it's like Overwatch and League and Counter-Strike and you only like Overwatch, you might not go. Because if you're only going to watch that one event, but you're going to pay so much for it, it's not really worth it.
Well, the same could be said about the Olympics. Like, you might be a real big, like, I don't know, swimming fan, but you don't want to see everything else. Like, you just, like,
That's
you won't
true.
care.
Well, that's
like,
why it's not really an issue for attendance, unless it
the
is.
whole point of the Olympics is like repping your country.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I wouldn't find that an issue.
that's true. That's the one. You got anything?
Well, Vincent talked about like a division, right? Especially when it came to like the rating of the games. Well, you could just divide or like just divide the games into like their rating and also just so that people can go to that event, right?
Mhm.
But then it wouldn't be so much as like I don't see like if it's at the Olympics, that's got to be like with everything else, or else it's like just a side thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
so okay. Wait, like, were you saying that each like section of the esports thing should have its rating? Like, the teen games are over here, and like the everyone games are over here?
Maybe. I mean, like, if it's like the Olympics are broadcasted on TV, right? So like,
Mhm.
obviously, any show that would have like mature content would say before, or like it would say in like the rating it shows like before the show starts, right? Or so maybe if you're gonna broadcast it, like maybe everyone who can be like there in person. Obviously, there's like you have to be a certain age or something,
Mhm.
but you could do that
I
and
think
just
that,
not care about the ratings at all.
that's true. Yeah, just give a warning, huh? And then it's up to the parents or something to let the kids watch it or not.
Mm-hmm. Like movies.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that could.
All right, so Vincent, you wanted to talk about something that happened today that we all got to
yeah.
experience.
Everyone here was there, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we all sat together. Okay, so Centennial or school starting in a week for us, right? And we're obviously on the IB program, hence the name of the podcast. And we went to this orientation today that gave us a bunch of information about what IB and /DP entails and what to expect. And if I'm being honest, there's a lot of stuff that was talked there that I didn't know about, but I don't feel like scared because of that stuff, right? Like I feel like going there made me a lot more comfortable, especially since we got to talk to those kids.
Oh,
I would probably agree. Especially the DP graduates, they did reassure me, like at the end of the whole program, you'll not only will you be like kind of grateful for the DP program, but even the experience, it's not as bad as like some people make it seem. Like, oh, it's literally like the worst experience ever. You're not gonna have like any time to do like your own thing or whatever. And like they assured that you'll still be able to do all the stuff you want. It's just you have to know how to manage your time. And I
Yeah.
found that really
I-
helpful.
yeah, I would have to agree with you guys on that, because from that, I don't know, I was kind of like a bit sketched out. Not for what it like what the program is, because we already know it's a good program, but more of like, I'll be in the program, but what will be the long term benefits of it? And then when they were explaining how like when they were applying for colleges and stuff, it really helped boost them and make them look better, and how you can even get out of some classes and stuff for doing good on those on the program. It's like, okay, well, that's it's like kind of reassuring to know that like, oh, all the hard work will like come and pay off later.
Definitely, because I think we were all pretty upset about the prices for the AP and IB
Yeah,
that
it's
we were
like,
talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, but like, yeah, especially that one girl that was saying how she was it $5,000 she saved or something
yeah,
because she's got so it does end up saving a lot of money. I think that was the most important thing.
yeah. So it was like, oh, that's really reassuring knowing that it's like it's gonna pay off eventually, but I'm just gonna have to wait and do really well.
Yeah. Other than that, I found it kind of funny that like in 10th grade, I think history was the most concerning subject for all of us, but that made sense because it was like our first AP history class, or our AP class in general. But
Yeah.
it would seem as if it's the same thing for the next 2 years. Because when we were asking about how to prepare, they always went back to history. And
Yeah,
not that the other classes aren't important, but we really need to like, we're gonna need to learn how to study and step up now.
Yeah, I think that's mainly just due to like history is just so complex. Like there's just so much information that is packed into history that they expect you to know. And like the teachers that we're going to have next year or like even this year, they're kind of like hard on us because they just want to they're trying to reassure that you are going to be prepared for the test because it's the test that overall like truly determines like your ability to like not only memorize it all but like analyze like certain points of history and whatnot.
Why do you think history is the hardest one? Because of that? Like just because there's so much to know? But you can say that about like a bunch of other subjects.
I think it's just
Well,
more
it's like
of,
so much to know, and then so much to connect like all the dots together and explain why this happened
Oh,
in order
and I
for
think
like
it's
things to be.
and building off what Dar said too, I think it's also for the fact that like, when you're given the information, like let's say on a test, when you're given that information, it's like they can give you anything. Like on the AP test, they'll just give you some random bit of information, and it's just like you have to be able to apply it rather than just kind of like memorize it. So it's like, yeah, that's like the first step, but eventually we have to work our way up from just memorizing and analyzing to like, okay, here's this random fact that we may or may not have known. How is it useful, and how could it like be beneficial or detrimental to a certain point in history?
Yeah, and like how is it important or whatever.
yeah, and I think it's like, there's no one thing to help you out with the majority of history. Like in math, like, I don't know, we'll learn a formula and that helps us solve a bunch of problems, but there's nothing like that for history. Like there's no like, if we get a history question, it's not gonna ask us, okay, what's the answer? Like what date was this? That's not the type of questions we get. But that is the type of questions we get in like math and what we got in science. It is a lot of memory, like James Renata said, I forget what. But history, you have to remember everything and you have to apply it to everything. And you don't have to apply an event from like 2000 to an event in like 1500s like that far away in math. It just makes it a lot harder.
Was that me that just heard that sound, or?
No, it
Yeah.
was Dar
yeah.
meeting.
It was weird. I wanted to highlight one part of the event. So like the part where the graduate like towards the end she said that don't let people who dropped out tell you
Oh yeah,
that
that's what I was gonna talk about.
yeah, you can
Wait,
ahead.
like yeah.
Go ahead and steal my
No, no,
mojo.
no, no, no. I was gonna. Yeah.
Just go on then.
Well, yeah. What do you guys think about that statement? Like,
You didn't say it. You didn't finish
okay,
it.
okay. I thought I said it. All right. So she said, like, so she had friends in IB that dropped out, like, in the middle of DP, and they're all like, "Don't do it. It's not worth it." Like, how are you? She was all like, "How are these people to know what I'm going to benefit from in the future when like they dropped out? Like, they're not getting these benefits. Uh, like, why are they saying that I should be? No, I should drop out too. That's not worth it."
Alright, yeah, that's fun. You can comment on
I
that.
I agreed with that a lot because like in the end, like they all just really agreed how individual it is, right? On how like you want to be successful in IB,
Mhm.
and so it's really up to you how much you want it to like change you. So like it's not really up to anybody who dropped out to decide whether it could benefit you at all. But it's likely that it wouldn't have benefited them at all because they didn't think it would. Because it's like that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the mindset
Yeah, exactly.
growth.
Yeah, it's not like everybody can take it too. It's yeah, IB's not meant for everybody.
I think well, they said if you want it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And that's definitely true. Like
kind of building off of you three there. In that presentation as well, they showed a list of things that you would have to like pass to be able to qualify for the actual like certificate itself. And man, dude, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't read the full list. But dude, there were so many things on there.
I wrote some of them down. Yeah.
That was like
Yeah.
well, most of it's just
Well,
like don't cheat.
It
Yeah.
looked.
I imagine the other things aren't as significant. Like
It
they're
was
just rare.
4 that were highlighted where she said these like you cannot like
Yeah, they're like more
can't mess
common.
up on these.
Well, there were like, but most of them when I was reading them, most of them were like, okay, you have to get 24 out of like the 45 points you can get. Half of them have to be from HL. That's not that hard. You have to get a D or higher on your extended essay. You have to get you can't get an E, which is the worst grade in theory of knowledge. It looks intimidating because it's such a long list, but once you really look at it, I think that's why a lot of people dropped because it
I
looked
think,
intimidating.
Yeah.
But it's really, I mean, it is kind
it's
of, but
just-
it's really not when you look at it.
And we have to like realize too that this is spread out through 2 years. It's not
Yeah.
all in
Yeah.
just one school year.
Yeah, that was huge, especially for the CAS hours, our community service hours, since we had 150. Like, that seems a lot, but since it's so flexible and it's over 2 years, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that like online service?
Put on
Manage back.
Pass hours, yeah, manage back.
I didn't really understand it though.
Wasn't it?
If I'm being honest.
it looked
If
really
it's-
useful, but I didn't. Yeah, at the same time, I was like, I don't know how we would log anything in this. But I mean, obviously, they're gonna teach us how to.
Yeah,
She was showing she was like showing a student's stuff. Right,
Yeah.
wasn't she? She was
Yeah.
showing like all the submissions she made and like it looks really nice. I mean,
It
Yeah,
does
it's
look
just
very
reflections you can
convenient.
type up.
It's just like
Yeah.
a subfolder. It's crazy.
It's like a
yeah, and compared to like apparently like how they used to do is that they had to conference it like
face to face.
face to face like every time. This sounds probably a lot better.
Yeah. No more folders. Like the
Yeah.
old folders we used to have where we just put them in and everyone would forget about them.
Uh,
Yeah, that was
Something that I've something that I
That's-
found real interesting was that one of the requirements is you have to do something every month. Like, you can't just cram everything into
Oh.
1 month and call it quits. They said for 18 months until you finish, you have to do something for like every month at least. And there's a cast project, which, if I'm being honest, I think that's a really good idea because that helps prevent this. I think it helps prevent the stress. I think some people may disagree, but when you have to like sort it out instead of just leaving it until like the last month and you realize you only have like 40 hours done in total. Like it helps a lot in the long run, even if it may not seem like it in the beginning.
Dude, you can just do like 150 hours in a week, dude. 24 hours a day.
Wait, what do you? Wait, what was
Wait
that?
a second.
Yo, wait, what was
no,
that?
No, Vincent. The thing once a month. What is that like a? You mean like the reflection, or what is that?
No, I think that was a requirement on the PowerPoint. Yeah,
No, I know,
I wrote
but-
it down here. Wait,
I
what are you
don't
saying?
remember that.
I remember the thing about once a month, but I'm not sure what it had to be done. Like, isn't it just like any event, and then you write a reflection on it?
You just have to do something. Yeah.
Well, okay, then
Not
that
that you
could be
have to-
anything.
Yeah, it could. Like what we're doing right now is fine.
Yeah, okay. But I wanted to ask. I forgot. It was like, if we're gonna do. Oh yeah, the group project. Could it be on something we've already been doing, but on a larger scale?
That's a good question.
I
I don't
think
think you can.
That
Wait,
would have to just be a question that we would.
What do you
have
have
to
in mind?
ask.
I don't like something like podcast based, basically, or like something involving like this kind of recording,
Well-
or
Well,
I don't
what's a
know,
larger
something
scale?
just. I don't know. I haven't thought about it, but
I-
or like you guys said, bring people on and stuff, and have like a special one or
That
something.
definitely would not count as a project. Like, there's not much planning going into that. But I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
I get.
Wait, we can make
But
it.
in
Or no.
contrast to what you're just saying, though, it's like almost an hour just to set up this one,
That's-
I mean,
that is-
Imagine
I mean,
bringing
it's
on
supposed to
other
take.
people.
and
How
that's
many-
just
how many hours did she
That's
say?
just pre-production. Post-production is even longer.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, huh? Because we have to.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone
Wait, how
that
long
doesn't
did she say it
know,
had to take to plan?
Well,
These
like
videos have
a whole
to
month.
render.
Oh,
Like the whole month is a project.
well, it
But
could.
If
yeah.
we're counting this as our regular community service, I don't
Yeah,
think we can count it as
exactly,
our actual
yeah.
project.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
I think it
Yeah,
has to be
goes
something
under
different.
creative.
It's under creative hours.
Yo, we could make an audio book for children.
An audio.
An audiobook. I think we should make like a video or like a mini movie or something would be really cool.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Because that definitely requires a lot of planning and getting together.
Dude, that would be kind of cool.
It would be nice, yeah.
Just have Dar put some.
Yeah, we just have to manage it really well.
Well, it has to be a collaboration, right? So it can't just be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But you do get to choose, unlike El
Yeah.
Rescate 2 years ago, we didn't get
Oh,
to choose.
that
members
was
and stuff.
jeez.
I don't
that'd
know
be-
what the limit is on people though. Like
Oh,
if it's
yeah.
only 3 or 4 per group
I
or
remember
something.
asking about this. The limit, I believe, is just like it doesn't really matter. It just depends on if everyone's able to hold up a part that is significant enough to justify like their like.
Oh,
vote
that makes
in it.
sense.
So
Then all
there's, like,
5 of us could do something.
So there's like no freeloaders on there.
Yeah,
Just
like we'll just act, and then Dar just records and edits the whole thing, or someone else can record and Dar can edit. That'd be really cool.
That's good. I like sitting behind the computer and editing.
Yeah,
Let's get
we'll give you
it.
moral support, dude.
Thank you.
Bro.
All right, moving on. Esteban, you wanted to talk about some stuff regarding social media. Is that right?
Yes, I wanted to talk about how or if children should be allowed on social media, like at all, and whether like what.
No, Let's classify. Hang on. Let's classify a child. What age?
All
is
right, anybody. Let's say anybody who's like not old enough to, like make decisions for themselves. I don't know anything below
I mean,
like
technically,
18.
We're not able to. Make
Yeah,
choices.
what the-
That's fine. Like
That'd
12.
be-
I think okay. That makes sense. I think 12 or 13 and under.
Okay.
I think I kind of agree with that, but not like off limits from social media. You know what they have on Xbox? Like there's a friend system. Like you look up
Dude,
your
it's
friend's code and then you add them.
restricted When
Yeah, and then you have to add them and stuff. I think that is fine because you can still talk to your friends, but really only your friends.
yeah,
And-
that is really restricted system, and I enjoy
I
it.
think, yeah, I think that's a great system. But 12 and or 12 or 13 and over, like that's fine, right? Because I
Yeah.
think we're smart enough by then.
Actually, I don't think it should be 12, 13.
But to be fair
do you
though,
think
it's up to whatever like the platform is to decide on that, which many do. It's just no one ever reads any of the documentation that you're supposed to.
No, let's just say we're putting this in full force though. Like that's the discussion. Okay, that's fine. What did you say?
It should be. I don't think it should be 12, 13. I think it should be like the entire growing process
Why?
because it
Hmm.
depends on like what kind of social media you have, right? And if
Mhm.
you're like largely connected to it and like you're always checking your phone, like a lot of kids do, it's like remembering, like when you check your phone every day and you just like see pictures of um, like anything really. I think an article said this like subconsciously your brain's like comparing like
Yeah,
what
it
you've done,
does.
yeah, and like it's depressing basically like over time and people just like
Wait, it's comparing what?
Like you getting desensitized.
It compares like yourself
yeah like what
to
you've been
whatever you're
doing.
viewing. So like if
Yeah.
you see a
Oh.
picture on social media like, oh, this person went to like another country, you
Yeah,
yourself
it's
is
like-
oh, like why didn't I go to another country?
It's basically like comparing lives.
Yeah.
Well, first
So-
off, that's not social media's fault. That's gonna happen
Really?
besides social media too. If I'm on the phone with a friend, not a friend with, and I ask them, "What'd you do this weekend?" They said they went to Europe. I'm still gonna get that same feeling.
No,
Like,
no, no.
Well,
the
I
thing
mean,
is that you
but
didn't
it's a
ask
lot
them.
larger. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like you never asked if they went or not. It's like you're seeing the picture already when you load up that platform.
Well, but who's to say that wouldn't happen 18 or older?
Well, that's the thing that I was about
because
to
no,
say.
it's if you're growing, it's a lot more easily
Oh.
related to.
But I
to be
thought
like-
I thought in that same article though I believe it was saying that it was adults that felt more of that depression.
Oh yeah,
More than-
maybe.
Oh,
more
that's
than-
Yeah, 'cause,
tough,
like, you-
dude.
because
Yeah, 'cause you
because
made it that
it was
far,
them
and,
that
like-
felt the reality of like, oh, they were
Yeah,
like,
I guess it's like then
Not
just social
doing
media should
much.
be banned.
You think social media should be
Wait,
banned?
wait,
Or like
wait.
I don't
just
know.
ban it.
That's
Whatever,
not a
It's
good
just-
idea.
It's like weird. Well,
Whatever.
It's a tricky
Good old phone.
it's
subject.
crazy. Yeah.
Good old phone numbers and text messages.
I think, like a lot of, it's still weird to me seeing like I have a 7-year-old cousin. I think I was like I have a younger cousin. Like just seeing them like, I don't know, looking at Instagram, talking to strangers, or they could be strangers because they don't know any better, right? Like you have to know better, which is why I think 14 is really good to allowing that people to start like
Mhm.
going online, because especially if they've been restricted to it and they're given the reasoning as to why they're not going to do it. And yeah,
But
they'll
is
be
there ever a suitable age to go online?
No,
yeah.
online is toxic.
Yeah, like
Online's
I
a
wouldn't-
whole
online
different
is
world.
unrestricted. It's the whole world connected.
It's very
I don't-
toxic.
I don't know.
Like,
Something so young. I don't know.
Well, we're talking
These days.
social media here. Now we're talking about.
I know, but no, but social media is
It's a
synonymous with the
portal.
internet, right?
It's like
Yeah,
gateway.
synonymous.
Well, that's how a lot of businesses like get out there too. You like that'd be stopping a lot of like that would be stopping a lot of business for people as well. Like social media is now the way to connect to people, like not just friend to friend, but businesses and just other stuff.
Esteban, I want to ask you about something then.
What?
Because I know Snapchat, I know they have another app that's like Snapchat Kids or something that's targeted towards younger like audiences. What do you think about like those type of apps?
That's not a good idea. And I'm not Esteban, but
I just
I
want to
mean-
know your opinion on it.
I haven't heard of it, but I imagine like the only difference is that more like it's stricter, right? Like the policies on it and everything.
Yeah.
And like, I guess, but it's kind of like the same idea, right?
yeah.
Because like,
Yeah,
if you're
pretty
gonna
much.
see my 5-year-old friend is literally like, I don't know, he's out here, he's out here doing
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I don't know. It's the same idea. Like, if you're just, especially like on the internet, it's just so much more potent. Like, all right, swipe to the next story, it's the same thing. Swipe to another life, it's the same thing.
Mhm.
Like, it's crazy. It's just like it's like what Vincent said, getting the phone call, but doing it multiple times in one sitting.
And like,
I
oh, with that, what young Snapchat app, like you got the risk of child predators.
Definitely, that's what I was gonna
That's
say.
what I was gonna say. Yeah, like
Well, you got that
I
everywhere.
get the idea and the intention of like kid version of many apps, but at the same time, I'm like, did no one at all see like the possible like threats or anything else that can go wrong with it?
Yeah.
A company I think that does this actually really well is Netflix. Like, there's literally, at least correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's a way to contact like other users on there. It's just your own thing.
It's a streaming service.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it's just
sure.
That's not like a
streaming
social media though. That's just
Yeah,
a streaming
that's
service.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Well,
Well, I get what you're like kind of trying to relate to, like somewhere like YouTube where
Well,
like it's
yeah.
all videos, but then
Yeah.
there's like
You
a
can't have
comment.
a social media without the social aspect, right? You
Yeah,
have to have some
exactly.
way to
That's
like
just
connect with
media.
somebody.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
Like YouTube is a social media platform.
So is it that just being social is just evil?
No, I think we're just highlighting the evil stuff, but
Yeah.
Are
it's not always
humans-
like
It's
But would
just
you
that.
not say
Are
that today
humans not to be
depression
trusted?
rates are a lot higher than
But
they
is
used
that
to be
you think
once?
that's social media's fault?
Yes. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's probably.
Well, is it all? Okay, it's definitely part
I
of
think
it.
a
but-
good portion is, yeah.
Okay, that's actually yeah. What else would
The
it be?
bigger question should be, are humans to be trusted? Because
Oh,
apparently we make depression rates just go way up, and we're not built for this amount of social
Yeah, and
interaction.
it doesn't end in anything positive, right? Illegal transactions over Instagram,
Yeah.
like child nudity and stuff, and illegal stuff everywhere on social media and depression. That doesn't sound very good, Vincent.
Okay, well,
Well, that's an extreme.
yeah, you're trying to
Yeah.
fight me, dude.
No,
Alright,
I'm
but-
just saying.
what was I gonna say, dude? That the thing, the example you gave earlier about like looking at a picture and then feeling depressed. That can't just be it. Like I get the child predator stuff, but like if I look at that, I'm gonna be sad, but I'm not gonna be like, I'm depressed now.
No,
I
but
feel
that's the
like-
thing. You won't be able to tell. People
It's
don't.
it's
People like
because
when
it's-
people are depressed. They're like,
they,
I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I don't think I'm very qualified.
It's
to
like
say.
a slight change in like personality. It's really interesting how it works, cause, you know, it might have like really dramatic effects, but other times I believe it can just be like.
Like
subtle
it can just
things.
go under the radar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like really subtle. Like it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you try to be happy, but then it's just like no matter what you do, you can't. But you feel
Someone's put
fine.
nothing. Exactly. Every post, yeah, and see, because especially if you follow a larger amount of people, it's just more potent, isn't it?
Well,
So
that would have to be that would have to go towards the individual and how prone they are.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. But no
Like-
matter what, you're gonna get a post or two or like about
I mean,
that.
yeah, but it should normally brush off. I think part of it also has to be with our culture. Everyone,
I guess.
there's so little
Yeah.
people with like thick skin. It's just like if they see
You think all
something
this
it's
social
not
media
them,
would let that?
it's like, oh man, why is that not me?
I was gonna bring
Yeah.
that
Like
up.
they're
Like,
gonna be the ones that are more affected. The people are like, whatever. I mean, like they're on like some other thing.
Well, apparently it's a lot of people, right? I mean, well, I mean,
Well, I mean,
well,
that's a big
yeah.
change in culture then.
well, social media also lets you meet like a lot of good people. It's not just a bunch of
Yeah.
child predators. Like that's
I
why we're all
mean-
we're all really good friends because of social media. I mean, we'd still be friends if we weren't, but I mean, it'd be a lot harder to get stuff like
Yeah, but when it doesn't happen too
Communicating-
often compared to like the
social
bad
media
stuff.
allows like the communication of ideas in general. Like, actually, that could happen without social media.
But
Well, I mean, it's
social
just
media
facilitated,
does make them travel at an exponentially
Yeah.
faster rate.
You can make an argument and essay out of this.
we can.
This is really. I never
Yeah,
thought about it like that.
There's
Thanks
so
for
many
my
factors
extended
to it.
essay.
Yes.
Hey,
You suck. Gosh darn it.
Just rewatch
Alright.
any of the podcasts, you can get like any topic. Just like.
What do we restrict social media to when we're talking about? It's like just basic stuff like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat.
I guess, yeah.
yeah.
I guess that makes sense. A lot of suspicious activities happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Technically.
moving on. Nano, you said, or you want to talk about stuff relating to video games and violence.
Alright,
Exactly.
alright, boys. So I'm gonna break it down.
All right.
Let's hear it.
No
Oh,
one
no.
does research, and even like fact checks this because whatever people see on TV or even a credible person says, such as politicians, just to get like an audience's attention to favor them, because they have the similar opinion to other parents but without any actual evidence. It specifically like James was transitioning to was video games like making kids become more violent in this day and age. It's just kind of frustrating to kind of see it's like well, that's like my hobby to do, and as well as like everyone else here. But you know, when they start talking bad about it, when they have not a single a single point of evidence to point in that direction, and in fact there are multiple studies and scientific articles going against them, they won't look at it, and they just continue to use that like video games as a scapegoat for any wrongdoing within the society.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And-
feel like the main reason why people say that video games cause violence is mainly just because the video games contain a factor of violence. So like video games such as like Call of Duty or whatever that contain shooting, that they just say like, oh, this person did this bad thing because they got it from here. Like it's I don't think it's a really good argument just to classify it as related to gaming just because the game involves some sort of violence.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I did a presentation on this last year for language arts, right? And it's really funny that people are saying this when child violence / bullying has actually decreased like literally 50% over the last 20 years as video game sales have like increased too. But there was one thing I was looking. Oh wait, you want to say something?
I was just gonna add, yeah, it's crazy to think because it's like, oh, we're living in like such a dangerous society, but it's like this is considered the most peaceful age in history that we've ever had.
Oh, that's true actually, yeah. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, this may be a dumb point. I'm still gonna say it anyways. When I was doing research on the presentation, I saw this article. It was about two teenagers. They committed like a drive-by shooting and they killed somebody. And then they like looked around the house and they saw they had a Grand Theft Auto game. So they're like, oh, Grand Theft Auto led them to commit the murder, which I think that's really dumb if I'm being honest. Like, there's no way that was the leading factor.
Yeah, that's not the leading.
Well, I mean,
factor.
did you
Yeah,
read
it's
that there was any other factor?
But
Yeah, the
thing
family
is-
was completely like they had mental issues too.
Oh,
But they,
okay, then
they
yeah.
said that at the very end though. The headline was like video game causes drive-by shooting or something.
Oh yeah, that's just to grab attention, right?
It's
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
to grab attention, and the thing is too is that when kids with mental issues start doing these violent things, it's like they're trying to act cool, so they're like, oh no, like that. It's not only because I had mental issues. It's because I saw this game, and then all the media is like, oh, it's because of video games, but don't worry about the mental issues. We don't care about that. That's not something that we hate. And it's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't applaud a person for doing well in life because of a good video game, right? Like if you play like a learning video game and then you go on to do well, like I don't know, on a test or something, you're not gonna be like, oh, it's because that game I played.
It's because of Minecraft, guys.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that definitely wasn't the reasoning for why you did so well.
I have
but
straight A's because of my Fortnite
Oh,
grind.
yeah, you play Brain Age or something and then you get an A on the test. Oh yeah. But like people are so quick to do that with violence. I don't know, it's just weird
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, it's
But-
just easier to highlight those things than the negative
But-
things, right?
Another thing to like I point out though, like for the other side, I guess, is that there's two different experiences and perspectives in terms of when someone plays a video game. Like, there's obviously the player who has the perspective and experience of like feeling and like having a tactical kind of mindset going in, like, okay, how can I outperform everybody else in this game, do all this stuff, learn the game, and all this other like all these other factors. Well, the other perspective would be the viewer and the watcher. So it'd be like, all they're seeing if it was a violent video game is just, it's like blood. If it were like a violent video game, it's like, oh, this person's dying, they're killing people, and they're like enjoying it. Why are they enjoying it? They're maniacs, but it's like, they're not maniacs. They're just excited that like, oh hey, they pulled off this really complex,
Trick.
like maneuver
Yeah,
in the
trick shot.
game, you know, but
Yeah.
they don't see that. What they see is, oh, this kid just killed 3 people, and now he's celebrating.
But why don't the viewers ask about that before writing an article or something, right?
'Cause
Isn't that kind of
this-
their job?
It's because they don't care.
This
They're
is
just-
this is
More
the
views, am I
age
right?
of antagonism.
Yeah, more clicks.
Well, it does work that way too. You see a title like that, especially parents Like my parents used to be
Yeah.
obsessed about that.
Mhm.
Like my mom was like, "You see this, Vincent? You own this game?" I'm like, "No, I don't." But yeah, it's media.
So yeah.
Well, you can make the argument that like kids with mental issues, like their behaviors get augmented by violent video games.
No, actually, I remember
No?
reading a report on this. I don't know where the source is, but I do have the source somewhere. The the trauma that is like created from a child that already has those mental issues, they already have that broken mind to the point where they're already bound to do whatever they feel like should be done for them. Like, how do I explain this? It's like they'll do anything at the point where they're already like, let's say like for I guess what's popular, not popular, but what the media likes to grab into like the news, like shootings. Like they'll go and gravitate towards that already without the aid of video games, but they will use video games as the scapegoat for like to sound cool, but it only like can damage a kid if they already had those mental issues. Otherwise, a normal kid that has like a stable mind, you know, they won't gravitate towards that extreme.
So are we saying children
So,
like with mental issues shouldn't be allowed to play those kind of games?
because they're more susceptible to these kind of like picking up
Yeah.
on these.
Yeah, they're very susceptible to like
Okay,
just
I
seeing
think that kind
something.
of brings up a good point. Maybe that should
I
be.
guess, but
That's-
that's what.
But the same thing
If-
is too, like we talked about in another podcast, is that you know you wouldn't tell which kid is like has those kind of problems.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, huh? Unless like if you've been like specifically diagnosed with like a, just watch out, you know, which doesn't really happen, but
That's why it's up to the parents to do the one job they have, parenting.
Yeah, it comes down just to the parents. on
Yeah,
whether
it's
That's
they have to
unlucky.
know.
yeah,
That's
unlucky,
back-
yeah, unlucky.
unlucky.
All right, Dar, you want to talk about AI? Am I correct?
Specifically mind uploading. So, okay, this stems from like I don't know, I have a phobia of dying.
Oh, really?
Weak.
Really?
Just kidding.
So, so I don't know, I'm looking up this like mind uploading thing. It's like you uploading your conscious or something to that matter, like to a cloud or like AI, so that like your conscious will still like be existing while like you die.
Would you retain like the memories you've had and stuff, or is it just like
It's just like uploading like a save file.
Like a save file.
so you'd be saved
Like,
in like an A?
How would that work?
Yeah, how would that work?
How would that work?
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't know. You
You'd
probably
be just like in a computer or something, just sitting there, or like
yeah, you're just sitting there. Oh, well, like I don't know. It's like the technology hasn't really been made yet.
yeah, that's just
oh, you're
unrealistic.
saying
Oh, I guess yeah,
Oh.
theoretically,
Yeah.
I guess.
I'm just saying, like it's like right now, it's just people researching, trying to know like how can we do this.
oh,
But like like when it starts actually like going forth, like I'd like to participate.
It could be like you
So-
could like I guess upload everything that's ever happened to you, and then the
Yeah.
computer could analyze like what kind of person you are, and then continue that lifestyle for you.
Actually,
But
there's
would
a
you-
video about that, and it's really interesting because that's what they do. Actually, they didn't upload the mind obviously because the technology isn't there, but they took the memories, not the memories, the answers and question. Like they would ask some people some questions, and then whatever they answered with, and then they would take like like they do through all these tests like personality and all this other stuff, and then they would, what's it called? They would give them like a body tracking thing so they can make a 3D model of them, and then essentially they would create like an AI from all the research that they've done on a person, and it's really interesting on how it responds and stuff.
did it work?
I mean, yeah, but
It's not the same person.
it's not fully the same person because the AI would have to learn from what it's
You'd have to
given.
learn a lot.
it has a lot of information, but over time it obviously is susceptible to like just change some stuff, so it could better itself.
So in this situation, Dar, if I turned into like an AI, like a robot or something, what
Mhm.
would my memories be intact? Would I be like, ah ha ha, I remember my bag, or like bag
Yeah.
of flesh or something? Yeah.
I think so. Your memories would be intact, but you just wouldn't be the
Well,
same.
they wouldn't be like. They'd just be like things you remember from what you've been written. Like,
Yeah. What you've been
it's
programmed.
obviously not you. It's just a robot recalling that that's what it's been written. Like,
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's
But
not
all
you, is
theoretical,
it?
though.
It's
No,
not
I
we're
you.
guess,
talking about
yeah,
Dar's thing. We're talking about Dar's thing. It's not you though, right?
no.
No, it's not you.
Oh.
So I guess it doesn't really matter to you if that happens, right? Because either way, it's not you. You won't
No,
remember,
but
right?
like I would like leave behind something.
But
you
yeah,
Okay,
but
yeah.
is anything really you?
know?
Yes.
Yeah, I am me.
I
Everything's
am me.
this is
Yeah,
the
but there's only one you, right? And
Yeah.
it's
You're
just
saying
unreal.
you can replicate that, yeah.
So I have
Yeah,
a question
exactly.
then, since this is all theoretical and they're barely researching into this.
yeah.
What do you guys think would happen if our minds actually got like uploaded for AIs? Would you just continue existing as an AI, being like self-aware?
Would we
Or
have that choice?
Would you actually just
This is
die
hypothetical.
and that's
Oh,
it? Like
oh,
whatever
okay.
happens after death, that's where you end up. It's just but everyone else just gets to see what your memories and stuff were.
How do we think it end up? I think
Like,
it would
do you
be.
continue basically like do you continue living out in full conscious, knowing that you are dead, but you are in an AI now, and you know that, like you're self-aware, or is it pretty much like a program, and it's just they have you saved, but like your conscious isn't actually with it, like you're just dead.
I think the
and-
program would be more likely instead of it actually being you.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to do. Like, oh my! If we ever get to that point,
That would
that's gonna be
really-
crazy.
That is gonna be
That'd be
crazy.
like a really like. I
Born
don't know, that'd be kind of like dirty, wouldn't it? Like imagine like
my god.
a friend died, but now he's an AI, but now this robot is basically like it knows everything, literally every detail about the friend that passed away, and it's trying to continue his life.
I would not.
That's kind of
be-
messed up.
That's weird. That's definitely weird.
That
I
is
think,
kinda
well,
weird,
first off,
but-
it's up to the person, right? If when they die, they had the choice to upload their mind or not, right? They shouldn't be forcefully their mind into somewhere now. It's like you have to live like this forever.
Oh my god.
But oh my god, I feel like I don't know. If that happened to a loved one, I'd feel really uncomfortable, even if it was
Yeah.
like
Yeah, and
Like,
like
it's
that
their
sense
time.
of a loved one, it sounds weird, but like in
exactly.
the sense of like a friend or something, I don't know. That would, to me, that would be like almost kind of interesting.
No, if I was an AI right now, James,
dude. Hey,
It's not even Vincent. It's a robot who was told
I know
what
it,
Vincent was
right?
like.
Just-
Alright,
so
think of this.
weird.
I don't know. It seems interesting.
Alright,
So imagine, like, you're dead. Like, I can't talk to you, but there's this robot.
That's
I know
sad.
exactly
It's
like
Hey,
that.
it's good enough. Good enough.
Dude, imagine all the mental scarring it's gonna create.
Definitely.
That's weird.
Okay,
That is
okay,
such
okay.
a good point.
Okay, how about let's just take the AI out of the picture, right? And just like have just a storage.
We're
Like-
being stored.
You just cold
You know,
storage.
just-
What, for, like, other
your
people to
memories
see?
being stored so that people
the
can
FBI
access.
can-
Okay, but
That's
we
so
wouldn't.
weird.
Wait,
That
that wouldn't
is
be us
weird.
though. Hang on, that wouldn't be us though, right? Like we're gone, but the memories are
Yeah,
still
we're
there.
gone.
Yeah, but
I think that's completely fine.
Really?
If
Yeah.
If
given the
Vincent dies, I'll just look into his memory the next day.
I mean,
like,
why?
weird.
I
That's
mean,
invasion of privacy.
I mean, you're
if
dead,
I give it
right?
permission,
I mean-
if I give permission though, right? Like,
Nobody
you're
like
dead.
nobody digs up a grave to see. Oh,
No,
I
you
wonder what
stop-
this dude looked like.
nah, James,
Like,
you're dumb, dude. You don't make a will after you're dead. You make it before you die. Same with this choice. Like, what?
It's like
When you get
donating.
older, they'll be like, yeah.
It's like donating your mind to science, right? You're basically making like what
What?
you like your life like free to the public.
your
Yeah.
entire life, not
Like a
dedicated
library.
to science.
I mean, it's like, oh god, wait, yeah, hang on. Anyone could view that.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
why. Like what you were saying didn't really make much sense.
Oh no. Wait, what do you
Like
got
a
to hide,
public
huh?
gallery
What
of
are you
the
gonna
memories of people who died.
That's kind of
That'd
weird.
be weird.
Hey, but we stare at dead
Unless it
bodies
was
at a
like-
funeral, so
Well,
That's-
yeah, but
Well,
their
that's
boxes
like.
underground.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's also out of like respect too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm pretty sure if you were given the choice, you wouldn't want to see a dead body.
Yeah, if we're that far into defiling someone's like memory after they die, what else will we have done that like ethically is wrong?
We would've
But
gone to
should we
Mars,
be
let's
given the
go.
choice?
Hey,
should
my
we be
clone
given
is
the
still
choice for that?
alive.
I think we
That's
should be
weird.
given the choice to do
Yeah.
that. We
Well,
all
of
think it's weird, so
course,
we're gonna say
because-
no. But like someone like, imagine if we had the mind of, I don't know, Albert Einstein, right? And we could see like his memories and everything he thought of. That's huge. Well, by then we wouldn't need him, but we wouldn't. We'd already be able to store memories. Like what the heck? No, but yeah, someone at that time, we get their memory. They're working on something good, but then died. We get to see what they were thinking. And
But
if they allow us to do that, I think that's perfectly fine.
how do we interpret what someone's thinking? Like
What do you mean?
it's only what someone's thinking can only be interpreted by the thinker, can it?
Not if it's
Not unless you.
broadcasted.
Oh.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah, like,
Wait.
This is turning into like a TOK session or something.
Yeah,
okay. Hey, yeah, what the heck? We should bring this up. No, but I think. Oh my god, that's a good question.
I think we should dive into this.
Or
Deeper
before you
another
die,
time.
you enlist like an official interpreter.
Yeah.
Only
This is
person can
exactly
read my
what
mind.
I mean.
When you
Wait,
see a
what?
picture of a dolphin, they'll know what it means.
But what if, like, I don't know, this guy. Okay, not scratch that. Actually, either way, you should be given the choice. Because if someone wants to,
Oh, yeah.
for whatever reason, then they should be allowed to.
Yeah, I feel like that's a given. You should.
All right, hey,
Yeah, you shouldn't be forced.
speaking about TOK stuff, right? We're talking about, since we're on the topic of AI anyway, morals, right? Would we be able to? Would the AI be able to have them? Like, if let's just say if this memory thing happened, and we could put this memory into like AI, could they have the same morals as us? Because
I mean, it
they're
would be our
AI.
memory, but would they have
Yeah,
our
like
principles?
in all the decisions we could have made, that's the
Yeah,
path we
I think
took,
it would
right?
just
So then,
it would base it off of our memory and probably just like if it saw a similar situation, it would take a similar action as you did.
Well, that's
Like, don't blame the AI, blame the person who put his mind in it.
Alright.
Okay, what about actual, just like normal, like
Just
today's
morals,
yeah.
AI?
yeah, like self-driving cars. You know those? You know those are happening. Remember
Yeah.
those? Remember how
Oh,
we
yeah.
stole it from the IBN? Anyways, like, yeah, how would they know? Like, if we were gonna have to, if someone had to get run over, no matter what, how would it know who to choose?
I mean,
Well,
that.
oh, you want to go or you don't want to go?
You can go. You can go.
All right, okay. So, realistically, I think the AI wouldn't have just two possibilities. Like since it's an AI, it can come up with a bunch of like different possibilities that it can go with. Like not just hitting this, not just hitting the divider or hitting the kid, but can swerve somewhere else.
well,
But how long does it take to compute that in a real life situation? Like, if
well, I
there's
mean, it's
someone on
fast,
the road,
right?
Computers are fast.
Yeah.
Fast.
I mean, I feel like it'd just be whoever's closest.
Really?
Yeah,
then-
I mean, why would you even have? Who would want to program just to decide between it? Somewhat like even. I don't think you should like program that. It's just leave it up to what would happen IRL. It's just like whoever's closest. I
Leave it
mean,
up
Unlucky.
Yeah,
unlucky.
That's what.
Unlucky.
I feel like-
Just crossing the road at the wrong time. Unlucky.
that's like playing with that's like playing God, isn't it? Just programming like
Yeah, who
who would
lives?
die.
That's-
Yeah.
hang on.
That's what I was gonna
That's a
say.
hard feels bad, man. If like
That is.
like self-driving cars,
Well, I mean,
it was going and it swerved around and couldn't hit you. That means the AI chose to hit you, dude.
well,
Like, how would you
It's
feel?
bad, man.
That's unlucky, I guess.
It's highly unlucky.
I mean, yeah, like Esteban was saying, which what I was gonna say with Dar is like, you know, ultimately, it's not the AI making the decision. It's the guy who is
It's the
programming,
code.
Yeah.
like the priorities of it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
do I wreck the car, Or
who
did
thinks
this
of
kid just
literally
get
every single
obliterated?
parameter. Every single parameter to decide whether who should get run over.
Unless-
That's kind of a dumb question.
unless-
Because what would it do?
Unless the AI was programmed to machine learn.
Machine learn?
So you're saying that
but-
it should run over thousands of people before it
Yeah,
learns?
until it finally realizes.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we should use, or you could use dummies, I guess. And like,
I think that's
No, and, like,
if you use
and,
machine
like,
learning
label
in
them
that way,
as-
it's gonna like it's
Yeah.
gonna start prioritizing people to kill.
well, I guess that's what it's got to do then, right?
Like,
Technically,
it
it
should be
should run
like-
over the old person.
Okay, yeah, but I think the situation would be like it happens during life. Like, let's just say I'm driving, right? And then I see some kid run out to get a ball. I'm like, oh shoot. So I swerve to the left because I don't want to hit the kid. But while I'm focusing on swerving to the left and I hit the kid, I hit somebody else. Like that, I'm not gonna be able to avoid both because my mind doesn't work that fast. That's just unlucky. And I think the same thing would happen if the
Oh,
Yeah.
so a computer would though, and it'd like minimize the
it would
damage.
minimize it. Yeah,
just have all the brakes activate.
That's just messed up. I don't think we should touch that at all then.
it just self combusts.
Then you gotta like
Oh my
take into
God.
factor how fast is the car traveling?
Oh,
like,
wait.
cause the car to flip over.
Yeah.
that
No, like
hydraulics?
if it's ever in a life or death situation, the car just literally propelled itself into midair
Yeah, like exactly. Just add
to
insane
minimize the
hydraulics.
casualties.
Yeah.
Just add insane hydraulics and just fix everyone.
Hey man, I couldn't pick, so I went over.
I went over him.
That'd be, I don't know.
That'd be really interesting. Would you be able to still control like the insides of the car, like the seats and like the radio or something? What if you could program it to be like, we know what radio you want, and it just goes to that radio?
Dude, but then that brings
yes,
up another
you are.
question though.
Been expecting you.
How much control do you give the AI?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you know how an airplane has autopilot? Actually, I don't even know the
That's
details
not
of that, so I shouldn't say. Yeah.
That's not AI. That's just like.
I'm
It
talking about
flies.
control purposes.
Autopilot.
I think this would be ideal, right? Like, you get in your car, right, and then you start it yourself. It shouldn't start for you. It's gonna bring a lot of stuff in. Maybe there's like a voice recognition or something. That'd be sick. And then it opens up, it's like where to, right? And then you tell it where to go, and then you go, and then you can select the radio, or you can like you see
Tell it
back
to
and
play
forth.
your favorite track, and then
Yeah.
plays Country Roads.
Yeah, country roads. And then no, but you just tell it where to go, and then it goes. And if something like, I feel like it could alert you if something serious is happening in that location. Like, let's say I want to go to McDonald's, so I'm like, you take me to McDonald's, but then it'd see like in the news, I don't know, a shooting just happened there 20 minutes ago. It'd be like, hey, are you sure you want to do that?
Oh, wait,
Shooting.
there's already an
That's-
app like
that's pretty
that.
good.
There's an app like that?
No, yeah, no. All the map.
There's a ton
Yeah,
like that where
Waze
like, hey,
does
there's
that.
police activity over
Yeah.
here.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
that's
really?
like not necessarily like artificial intelligence. That's just like.
That's just human updates.
But Waze does that. It like plays music. I'm pretty sure for you and stuff. It, like,
Oh, I
it does a
haven't
bunch
used
of that stuff. It
Wait,
like.
we're already in the future.
But the
Yes,
question
we
is-
are.
But like
Yeah.
Vincent, but the question is still though, like, how much control does the AI have over the vehicle? You know,
They get full control. I think, okay, there
because
should
if
be a
they
switch.
if they have
There's
access
a
to all of
slider.
those systems, at what point is it the
AI's fault
AI
about you.
controlling the car to the point where you have no control and it can just lock you inside?
Hey, you know
Well,
what?
you know what? There's still keys. That's the
There's
thing.
gonna be an options menu. Options menu.
Yeah, options menu.
Not self-aware.
Yeah, well, there's like a switch, right? Or it could go from like that smart car, or it could just be a normal car if you
Like,
like if you feel unsafe.
experimental machine learning.
Runs
Yeah.
over 1,000 people.
Should it just be cars though? Like, what if we had that? Would you feel comfortable in an airplane like that? Like, there's no pilot?
No.
Well,
What if it goes wrong?
sometimes pilots can be really.
Well, the same
dumb.
could be
You
said
that with
about
the car.
cars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you read Outliers?
I mean, half of like, even more than half, like of all like disasters that happen is because like the pilot's being an idiot.
Mhm.
That's true.
But
plane
lightning
itself
lightning
cannot be
can
an
hit lightning can hit airplanes pretty. Like, it happens pretty.
Hey, who can expect
Often.
that?
How is that the self airplane's fault though?
No, but that's just the
Yeah.
environment, right? What if it completely fries everything? That
You
plane
don't
is
do
not
that
gonna
even
fly.
without the self like flying airplane. Like
No,
if
because when
my-
it when it
No,
happens,
not all right. No, no. I kind of get what Nano's saying. He's saying like in the event that happens, like would the AI go down and like there's just no hope for the plane? Where like if there was a pilot, he
They
would
can get
still
it
be
back.
able to do something.
what would he be able to do?
you take control over the plane again because there's still the manual systems.
There'll be a restart button or a reset button.
But what if it
Like,
fries everything? It's a lightning shock that just hit the plane.
Wait,
Those happen
then you're
kind of
All right,
screwed.
you know what? In the event that happens, either
Parachute.
way, unlucky.
Yeah, no, wait, that's like
Yeah.
you're screwed when that happens, aren't you?
Exactly. That's
If
what
that
Yeah,
happened
happened
in
to
you
the
real life,
pilot.
I think we'd all automatically
No,
die.
but even if you, oh, you mean like when the AI is like wiped out? No, but what if it's an AI dude?
An
Pilot.
AI dude.
Who never falls asleep.
Wait, this is a high IQ. Yeah, the airplane itself is
It's
right
separate.
next
Yeah,
to
it's
dude.
separate.
Wait, that's genius.
Does the AI dude
Yeah.
have his
Yeah,
own
have
like,
it-
battery?
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Is he not like
Its own
jacked
power
into
That's
supply?
the...
listening, dude.
Wait, is the AI dude have his own like feet and can walk around and not like limited to the plane?
I
Or
mean,
is
he
like,
wouldn't be humanoid. He'd be like a box or something.
He would just be
so
up there.
Yeah,
in the
he
front
just
the entire
puts them in the pilot seat, give him
Yeah,
some
and then
power
he
supply,
drives.
and be like,
There would
"Hey,
still
fly
be-
the plane."
There would still be like humans though, like walking around, like asking for
Yeah,
like
well,
food or stuff.
Like if height
Yeah.
below.
I don't want an AI coming up to me. What do you want to eat?
you want some peanuts, boy?
Not tell me.
Dude,
give me peanuts.
if we have, listen, if everybody on a plane is a robot, if there is an accident, what's the trouble?
This is what we do. Yeah.
Nobody dies.
The
We
passenger
take the
becomes a
mind
robot.
storage and we put it on a robot, and we transfer our bodies by a different means of transportation, so we don't have to actually go on the plane in case it crashes.
Genius.
Oh wait, why hasn't people made this stuff yet?
Hey, come
I
on,
wonder
Musk.
what.
Musk is slacking.
No.
All right.
That'd be
Now,
super
before we end off the segment, we're gonna be trying something different today.
What?
For this episode, we're gonna be watching a video, and we're basically just gonna be reacting to our thoughts on it. We're gonna be watching a video by Daily Dose of Internet, who basically just does a compilation of just random videos that he finds. And yeah, we're just gonna be just reviewing it.
All right,
Yeah.
Alright, hold on.
Is everyone?
All right, let's
On the
transition
screen?
into
Daily
the
Dose of
reaction
Internet.
stage.
transition scene.
Okay, I'm in.
All right.
Wait, hold up. Wait.
everyone-
Oh shoot.
Oh no!
All right, I'm in.
I'm
Is
in.
everyone ready?
I'm
All right,
in.
I'm gonna start it now.
Hello everyone, this is your daily
Dar,
dose of-
wait, hold on. Pause.
Dar, hey, yeah, pause it. Dar. I'm
What?
gonna.
Does Dar have an echo?
Oh!
Wait, does
Dar
you?
has a mad echo.
All right,
Oh, my-
I'm good now.
Wait, turn up the volume.
okay, I
Come
got
on,
you.
bro. I'm good
How
now.
about you want it like full blast?
No,
or-
no, no.
Nah,
It's-
I'll just have it.
we
Yeah, I'll have it right there. All right.
They attacks to steal cars.
That's good.
The way it works is one person stands next to the car while the other stands near the house with a device that can pick up the signal from the key fob. The device then relays that signal over to the car. The car's computer thinks that the key fob is right next to it and immediately allows instant access.
We tested it over a 2-week period on a total
Oh,
of
wow.
5 different cars, minivans,
Wow.
SUVs,
Oh, so
and
it's
a
just a
pickup truck.
relay.
It opened
Yeah.
19 of the 35, and amazingly, it
Oh, that's not
started
that good.
18 of those vehicles.
But so
Gee.
unlucky. Oh, is that it?
What the heck?
That's it. That
Um,
clip. Yeah. You guys want to?
No, I'm.
No, I think
That's-
we're.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, so it only works on
That's
cars that
interesting.
activate when the key's next to it, not when it's activated?
So like the newer car models today.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what a lot of. That's what they're doing. Where like instead of like having to like put in
It's
the
push the
key into
start.
the actual slot, you just have to be like around it, and it'll just be able to unlock.
Hey, but 19 out of
Yikes.
35.
Yikes.
That's
That's-
not
Alright,
much at all, actually.
Just-
That's more
get
than
a-
half, though, isn't it?
Well, but would you go home like if you got that grade on the test? Would you go home like, hey, look at this?
What?
No.
I mean, no, but that's still more than half. So
That's
that
still a
means-
lot. That's a big risk.
That's more than half. So
That
it
is
means
a
if the
big
first
risk.
car doesn't work, the second car has a high chance of it.
Whatever. Just ban the technology.
Hey, Vincent, what's your car model? Oh, like what year?
Hey, that's not. Nah, that's not how
what,
it's
what
like.
year?
Though.
What year? What year?
Yeah.
It's 2016, but hey, nah. You need to activate it. You need to like actually activate it. You can't just be near it.
Oh, my
Alright,
dad's
boys.
car does
All
that.
right.
Push
we're
to
gonna
activate.
Continue on with this dog here.
What? The...
Wait, I
What the?
Wait, nah, pause it.
Are you sure?
Wait, what do you mean?
This is just
No, wait. Is there more on the same
Yeah,
topic?
I thought we were just gonna talk about the car.
no.
No!
What?
Okay.
You wanna watch the entire video?
explained this last
I
week.
did not sign up for this.
I explained
Keep
this.
going. Play it. Play it. I wanna-
Wow, what a dog! What a dog! Why is that dog so-
The main
oh, shoot.
objective
Oh.
is to bring down your opponent's pole. Each team has 150 members. 75 people are sent to attack, while 75 others defend their own pole.
Like,
You're
look
allowed
how
to punch,
interesting
kick,
this is.
tackle, and pretty much do whatever you need to do to win.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this guy's getting beat.
Oh my god. Oh my,
Oh my god,
What the heck?
Holy.
He had hops.
Right, hang on. Pause it.
I got you.
Hold up. Okay, look.
That jump.
Someone's gonna die. Like,
Dude, that.
no way. No way.
Why isn't this in
You
the
see how that
Olympics?
guy
That's
was?
Japan,
See how
dude.
that guy was kicking him?
Dude, this guy like
Yeah.
lunged himself on top of it too.
They have helmets though. They have helmets.
Oh yeah,
What
yeah.
kind of
they do
helmets
have
are those?
They're squishy
Yeah,
helmets to protect
helmets
against the
suck.
kicks.
Hey, you know what?
It's extremely violent.
This one happened in the
That
U.S.
is
because everyone's
violent,
fat.
dude.
So
Dude,
What's-
why isn't this in the Olympics? This looks.
I wonder why. Alright.
Yo, was that a Sykes?
Yo. Hey, I know what you're gonna say.
look,
an
you see
ice
those
one.
ice caps? Those ice caps are melting.
Those aren't ice caps.
Those are.
That's
mountain-
lead.
They used to be
The
ice
AC
caps.
here is only made of about 100 atoms. Berkeley
No
Lab
way.
decided to show off how precise their laser is by drawing on top of this penny using gallium atoms.
Oh,
What?
Oh my god.
that's
That's
a
vandalism.
penny? Oh.
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 What?
Oh my.
Someone
Wait.
made a
Oh,
solution
wow.
that changes
Wait,
color
pause that.
depending-
That's a waste
They
of
were
time.
able
First
to
off,
print
This is
out
fake.
their
This is
logo.
fake. This is fake.
They're able to print out their logo inside the face of the back of the penny that is not even visible because there's no face there. But
oh, yeah, what?
even smaller than the actual thing itself. That's crazy.
That's unlucky. I mean,
Unlucky.
not unlucky. That's not real. That's fake.
Yeah, that's fake, dude. There's no
Hey,
way.
Science.
That's
Who is this
Berkeley.
guy? Who is this guy?
Berkeley.
Science.
Berkeley Lab. UC Berkeley. Esteban, your dream
As
college.
in California.
Yeah, I think so.
Silicon
I'd
Valley,
imagine.
dude.
Dude.
We're finna get copyright struck.
No, we won't. We're not
Copyright.
monetizing. Copy struck.
Alright. Continue.
All
continue.
right, continuing.
That's cool.
Oh. Oh, there we go.
Someone made a solution that changes color depending on the angle that you view it.
Oh,
Wait.
what the heck?
Oh, it's clear.
Nah, that's just physics.
That's just.
What?
Animal scares me. Dude.
This is what a chainless bicycle looks like.
What the?
The
Oh,
future.
it uses the cogs. Let's go.
Ah.
Oh, so cool, dude.
That's
Look
pretty
at
good.
Cogs have use. Bring back
Cogs
cogs.
are pretty good.
There's this device you can place on top of your fence to prevent your cat from leaving the yard.
What the?
Oh.
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 It's
It
messed
reminds me
up.
of Wipeout.
That's dumb.
Wait, you said what the heck?
Dude, cats are insane.
He's laughing at it.
He's laughing at his own cat's abuse.
That's the end of this video.
It's not
Hope I made your
abuse.
day just a little better.
Alright.
I'll see you guys again very, very
Alright.
soon.
What is that?
Later.
Hang on.
The copy struck.
This guy
Oh.
sounds exactly like Leafy. I just gotta throw that out there. Like, the voice is uncanny.
Oh.
Yeah, he's kind of.
I've never seen this guy before.
Really?
Yeah,
He's
I've never-
popping off. He's
Really?
rising.
That's kind of
Yeah, I don't
interesting.
know. Just one day, it's just every single streamer decided to just binge watch him. I don't know why. But
Interesting.
it's crazy.
All
I mean,
right.
He has really interesting videos.
Yeah. All right. Well, that about wraps up this edition of the podcast. We'd like to thank everyone for watching, and
If
thank
anyone
our
watching.
fellow.
Wait, what?
Hello,
say,
3
Esteban?
viewers.
Nothing, dude. Hello to our non-existent viewers.
Wait, we're not on Twitch? Oh shoot.
Oh yikes! Hey, delete the clip. All right, thank you everybody for watching, and have a good day.
Bye.
Goodbye, people.